Hello and welcome back to another episode of Casually Explained. I'm your friendly neighborhood recruit dog, here to casually explain all of your favorite Rainbow Six Siege operators. Today we'll be going over Kapkan. Maybe you're new to Rainbow Six Siege and you just want some general guidelines how to play our friend Kapkan, or maybe you're just super into watching videos about Kapkan. I don't know, dude, I'm not judging. But either way, let's go ahead and get started. Casually Explained. So in this part of the video, I like to dedicate a brief history to our operator. I understand not everyone cares about this, so for those of you not interested, here's a timestamp where you can actually jump to where we talk about how to play the actual operator. I'll give you a second to go ahead and skip forward. Alright, now that those losers are gone, who wants ice cream and pizza? Here you go, just don't give any to Montaigne. He's allergic. Kapkan, whose real name is Maxim Basuda, was born in Kovrov, Russia in 1979. Oldest of three sons, born to parents who were factory workers, he enlisted in the Ministry of Internal Affairs to avoid the harsh life of working in a factory. After enlisting, he was stationed in a small sea town on the Barents Sea. You'll notice this is why in his elite skin, he's got a bit of a sea theme going on there. With the addition of Finka, our man Kapkan is one of the 5 Russian Spetsnaz operators, and one of the 10 original defenders. He has a unique ability of placing EDD tripwires on doors and windows that automatically detonate when enemies pass through them.
Friendly's victorious. Hostiles eliminated.
Since his release with the base game in late 2015, he has only seen 2 major reworks as an operator. You see, originally, he had only 3 ED tripwires, and once you placed them, there was a giant red screw on the opposite side of the doorframe. Not only that, but the red tripwire was so bright you could see it from space. This was a bit ridiculous and only took 6 months to render him a completely useless operator. Ubisoft noticed this, thank God, and patched him midway through 2016. They removed his giant red screw and dimmed the brightness of his trapwire to make it a little less visible. Keep in mind though, throughout this entire time, he only had 3 EDDs, and they were all insta-kills. I'm talking instant death for anyone who touched one of these bad boys. Never in Siege history has there been such a punishing gadget. Even Frost bear traps that would literally snap your leg like a twig only puts you in the down but not out state. I'm telling you all this to prepare you for what happened at the end of 2017. Our dear friend Kapkan, via patch update 2.3.2, now has 5, count 'em 5, entry denial devices. The laser literally becomes invisible once placed. They only deal a base damage of 60, depending on the armor rating of the attacker. And they changed his fat ass from a 1-speed operator to a 2-speed operator. Now this made a lot of Kapkan mains angry. You went from being able to get instant kills to just lowering their health to about 40. And while I see their perspective, and I myself have mained Kapkan on and off since the beta, I kinda think it's the best thing to happen to him. They upped his speed so you actually have time to place all of your tripwires, while also making them invisible. Plus, he's now got 5 of them. So it's a win-win to me. Kapkan, being a 2 armor, 2 speed defender, makes him a pretty evenly rounded pick. His loadout gives you the choice between the 919 VSN submachine gun and the SASG shotgun. Now when it comes to loadouts on Siege, it's important to remember there is no single loadout that you have to win. It all comes down to personal preference. You're going to have plenty of people telling you, you have to use this sight with this gun, or this attachment with this weapon. No. Don't listen to them. Play around with different combinations and find out what works for you. Follow your heart. Just for the love of God, don't go double shotguns on Mirror or Jackal. Me personally though, I prefer Kapkan's submachine gun. If you happen to get into long distance engagements with the enemy, you still have a chance with this gun. The same can't really be said about his shotgun, although it is my favorite shotgun in the game. It's clip loaded, can shoot multiple rounds extremely fast, and it has a pretty high damage.
Drone incoming. Starting the clock.
So now that we've gotten his loadout out of the way, when someone new asks me which operator they should start with, I usually tell them Kapkan, which may sound weird. Most players want to go for one of the more flashy operators, like Blitz. See what I did there? Flashy, because he flashes people. Okay, never mind. What I mean to say is, most people spring for an Ella or a Jaeger when they should be playing a more vanilla operator to try and get a feel for the game. I usually suggest Kapkan for 2 words: laser boy. No, No, wait, that's not right. I mean, map knowledge.
But you know what I like a lot more than materialistic things? Knowledge.
Picking Kapkan forces you to remember all entrances to the objective, surrounding rooms, and even doorways across the map if you really want to get sneaky with those EDD traps. Something as simple as remembering the map layout may sound a bit trivial to you, but put yourself in the shoes of a level 5 player. Rainbow Six already has a huge learning curve. On top of that, there's currently 35 operators to choose from, all with unique abilities, and 10 different maps with all their own ins and outs. Always having where you placed your traps in the back of your mind comes in handy when you get the notification that one of them has gone off.
Op 4, last stop standing.
Whoa, whoa!
Eliminated. Mission successful.
I mean, not only does it give you feedback to where the enemy team might be, but also knocks the attacker's health down to about half. On top of that, if they're already low health from a previous firefight with one of your teammates, I got news for you, buddy. You dead. Now, he may seem a little overpowered to you with invisible traps and all, but he has a few important counters. There's IQ, Thatcher, oh yeah, literally anyone with a pair of eyes. No offense, Capitao. You see, Kapkan's role is to slow attackers. It makes them have to take it a little bit more slowly and actually check their doorways and windows. For example, we all know Ash doesn't have a hitbox anywhere above her shoulders, right? Well, you know where she does have hitboxes? Yeah, right there in her ankles. So when Ash, aka Sonic the freaking Hedgehog, comes rushing into the building, she'd better check her doorways. It's generally a good idea to avoid placing your traps on windows. When placed on the window, the EDD is extremely visible. Don't get me wrong, you might get a random recruit to swing in to one every now and then, but I wouldn't count on it. Having 5 traps means you can be pretty generous in terms of doorways to place them on. Every Kapkan main has their own strat, but I like to place them on a majority of the windows and doorways around the objective. You know, the ones close enough to maybe when they go off you can relay this information to your teammates. You have a general guess of where the enemy is. And then maybe 1 or 2 of them on the actual objective door. The ones on the objective door will come in handy when it's the last few seconds of a round and the desperate attacker is rushing in like a sad last attempt to secure the objective, only to be met with the tripwire to the ankles. I say ankles here because you can actually choose to place the EDD anywhere from waist high to ankle high. Trust me when I say placing them at waist level is kind of a bad idea. Most people sneaking around are crouched anyways, so it actually puts it right at eye level with the attacker, making it much more visible. So lastly and most importantly, I'd like to point out the importance of which side of the door you arm your trap. This is crucial. You want the EDD tucked away out of their field of view. Try putting yourself in the shoes of the attacker. Where would you be coming from if it were you closing in on the door that you're wanting to arm? If they're coming from the right side of the door, have the EDD on their right side, or your left. Choose doors where maybe there's only one side for the attacker to actually come from. So at the end of the day, choosing Kapkan is a solid pick for your team, whether you're anchoring the objective or you're roaming the map. Just remember to follow your heart and be kind to your friends.
These soldiers think their training will keep them alive. They break down doors and come through windows, weapons drawn. But it's too late. They forgot the first rule of survival. A real hunter always watches where he steps.